It's a chessboard.
The chessboard was built as a complete set, so walking onto that set for the first time was absolutely staggering. I'll never forget working on that set. I was so excited about doing the chess scene that I used to go to the construction site every couple of weeks just to see how it was progressing. When I got there on the day when the pieces actually arrived and the set actually started to take shape, I was just amazed by the scope of it. And I thought, when we light this properly and we shoot it with specific lenses and we put these little kids in this world, it's going to feel completely magical.
I think this is going to be exactly like Wizard Chess.
The visual effects for me was a great challenge because I'd never worked with visual effects before.
I always shied away from visual effects because I just felt that I'd get bored with them or I wouldn't be interested in them. Now that visual effects have reached a point that I've become obsessed with them.
How to action, come up immediately.
Because if you get an idea that morning where you say, I'd love a ghost to pass through the table here, it doesn't take weeks of planning. You can actually do it.
Hello! I think there are somewhere between 700 and 800 visual effects shots in the film, so that undoubtedly was a great challenge, bringing Quidditch to life, bringing the troll, Fluffy, Voldemort, all to life. You know, a great challenge. But somehow it didn't feel it didn't feel impossible. It, as I said, evolved oh so naturally from the book.
For Quidditch, particularly, we always felt it was important that Quidditch feels like a real sport, meaning that if you did have broomsticks that flew, and if you had access to a stadium with 3 enormously huge golden hoops, if you could believe that all those things were possible, if we could make the audience believe that, then we could create a sport that people believed actually was being played.
Oh, Mail's here.
80% of the owls that you see on screen are real. Gary Giroux, our animal trainer, was in England. He had access to more owls, I think, than you could ever find in America. So we were able to train all sorts of owls. Owls are beautiful creatures, but they are difficult to train. When you see Hedwig deliver the Harry's Nimbus 2000, his broomstick, we see some of the owls delivering mail. Now, obviously, we didn't fill this room with owls, but we did do several shots with real owls delivering mail here, which is incredibly difficult, but we added some CG owls to fill the room because you couldn't, in terms of training these owls, you couldn't get more than a few in at a time or else they would start running into each other.
It's true, then, what they're saying on the train. Harry Potter has come to Hogwarts. Harry Potter.
We'd been looking for Harry for quite some time. I'd begun looking for Harry before Chris Columbus came aboard in November of 1999. And here we were in July, and we hadn't found our Harry. And Steve Clovis and I went off to the theatre. And I walked into the theatre, and there was this boy. And so I was struck by him, and all through the play, I could barely pay attention. I was looking behind me at this person who had this quality, this old soul. I realized that this boy had something very special, had the quality that we were looking for.
Ow! You stood on my foot!
Obviously, we tested a lot of kids, and once we saw these 3 kids on screen together in their initial screen test, we realized that there was an enormous amount of chemistry between them, and we thought, these are the kids, and they fit together.
What if I make a fool of myself?
You won't make a fool of yourself. It's in your blood.